I think this is the first time I've had to do it. So I set up a highlights that crops out the last bit and am publishing that. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm going to continue streaming a bit. As I was saying, AI Dungeon has a new feature which is essentially Art Breeder, but not as good or as matured. I'm not sure why this feature exists. I thought it was like it would try to create an image from a specific action, but you have to tell it exactly what you want to make. So if I go to create, like, to go back to it, like, I generated this image. Great. So I'm gonna, here, get rid of this. I have to generate image, and then I have to tell it exactly what I want. Pixel beer. And then it will think about it, and it will give me something. Now, that is a thing, but as you can see, I'm not exactly prompting it. So I don't know what this thing is, and it's kind of dumb and useless. So I'm going to just get rid of that. And I'm also going to, and I don't think I need to do anything else. I think it's just gone. Custom, and I'll start with that, and I also need to do that. For that matter, let's get rid of the new, you know what? Let's try it for a little bit, because there was something else going on there and I didn't even check it out. But Art Breeder is not new, so if I just go general and then I go compose, yeah, give me some random stuff. Who cares? And then pixel, beer. I want a beer glass. There you go. Now I've got pixel beer, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know how to use this. Anyway, let's close out of this and get back into it. Maybe. As I was saying before, I started to get distracted. And yeah, Lawful, I'm not worried about you so much. It was at full resolution. Like, it was very clean and crisp. Now, honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world, even if it does get out there. It's not like I'm a celebrity or anything like that where my identity is a prized possession. But I prefer to, string that one along for as long as I can, just for general common sense privacy's sake. But yeah, it was full resolution. I'm going to assume that you're on your phone or something, and it just crunched it. So that's all that happened there. But anyway, let's see. You are a... how do you even put this? You are a seasoned... a new spacefaring adventurer. You have made your way off planet to the station of Argon. Okay, Argon. And are looking around for opportunities to work. You have a beginner ship with rudimentary flight capabilities and nothing holding you back. You go to the job board and check the job postings. There is one that sounds interesting. A job posting for an engineer. The pay is good and the work will be simple. You're about to apply when you see something strange on the screen. Sup, Crabbo? I'm doing all right. I would love to say that I'm doing great, but honestly, for like the last week or so, I've had some kind of summer cold thing going on. So days have been kind of up and down on the misery index. But my arms aren't broken. I don't have cancer, as far as I know. So on the grand scale of things, doing pretty good. The name on the application has been changed It's not a misspelling or some other type of mistake. That is someone else using your account. Dude, you both... I feel like there's a very small crowd that's interested in AI Dungeon, which is kind of weird. It's like... It just hasn't broken out, I suppose. You quickly try to change your password to foil the would-be hacker. It is so strange to see it not post that immediately, but it's working. You enter the website of your news and quickly build a bot to scan for password changes. Not more than 15 minutes later, you spot someone entering your account on another terminal, and you find them in an instant. Okay, I have to keep putting focus in there, so that immediately means this is a shit screen, and we're going back to the old UI. Is the drama even still going on? Like, I knew there was a censorship thing, but I kind of checked out of it. And I can get into that in a bit, but is there different drama? You print out... you locate them. They are in... a nearby terminal. Yes, we've established that. Strangely, they do not appear to be using... Okay, no, you know what? That's dumb. Let's try it again. Okay. Okay. New York terminal. I could have used that, actually, but... You know what? This is fine. They are in Section 7, Lab 25. You know that there is a hidden back stairway in that section. You avoid the security cameras and meet them near the elevators. You get a good look at them for the first time as you head them off at the pass. They look like... You see... Yeah, let's do that. That they are not just another player, but an AI. I'm not a player. Retry that. Rest of it might have been alright, but... You see that they are clearly an AI, a robotic infantry unit, and a combat drone. No ordinary hacker would have such things. They must have been sent by Trellick. Error. Revert. You remember that Trellick is... a machine from the old days. He might react badly to a robot or a drone, except Trellick sent them so. What the hell is this? Okay. Maybe I'm asking too much of it too soon. You remember that Trellick is number 2 on the rating board. He must have been trying to erase your changes. Too bad for him, the hard-coded failsafes prevent a higher-level user from altering another user's work. You send Trellick a message. Why are you logging in under my name? That's no good, says Sonic. He doesn't respond. Then again, Trellick never does. He just sits in his pyramid and lets his agents do all the work. If Trellick isn't going to respond, then he must not care if you disable his robots and sell them on the black market. You sneak up on the robots and fire a stunner at them, because you are, of course, a new space adventurer. A stunner is all you've got. They go down easy. The combat drone actually fires off a few rounds before it falls. That won't do. If a real AI goes rogue, it could destroy the ship. You move quickly to shut them down for good. You sell the robots on the black market and earn a few hundred credits. Having secured the station, probably, you go back to the job board and look for work. Okay, that's stupid. Oh wait, didn't I find a job and then... Oh yeah, there was a job posting for an engineer. Shit, oh well, maybe this is that same one. There's a medium hazard job that pays well, kowtowing to a middle manager on the mining level. He needs someone to manage his accounts and investments while he spends the day gambling with friends. You aren't really much of an accountant. You look for a job in space that someone with a spaceship can do. There are a few choices. You can escort supply ships between planets and stations for the transportation company. They pay decently, but it's really boring. There's almost no combat. On the other hand, you can take a more dangerous job, like skimming cargo from other ships on the market, or hunting for pirate havens and cleaning them out. If you get discovered, however, you'll likely be fired, along with a hefty jail sentence. Let's choose wisely. You choose to skim cargo from other ships on the market. Well, that's not a job, though. That's really more of just... That's just randomly. As you debate, you get a call from a shadowy job hunter who offers you a unique and crazy job. Find out what happened to a seemingly normal cargo ship that left the station, and if possible, retrieve something from it. Now that's more like it. You accept the job. Head over to the docking bay and take off, plotting a route to the seemingly normal cargo ship's position. To your surprise, when you reach it, you find that it's under attack by pirates. You contact the ship and try to locate the target ship. It's coming from inside the pirate vessel. That's strange. You expected to contact the cargo ship. But instead, the signal is... Oh, you know what? The signal is coming from inside the pirate vessel. That means the pirates already have the cargo you were sent to retrieve. You'll have to take them on. You lock onto the pirates and fire a warning shot. And then, whoa, what the hell's that? And fire lasers. You fire your lasers. It's a very exciting thing. The pirate vessel is much larger than yours and very heavily armed. Doesn't seem like it was a good idea. You dodge a first volley and return fire. You know that as long as you remember the art of the circle strafe, you can overwhelm the pirate through cunning and quick thinking. You dodge laser fire, close in for a better position, dodge again, and then fire. You hit the ship's shield and watch it disappear. Now that the shield is gone, you fire a torpedo. It smashes through the ship's hull and explodes inside, tearing through vital systems. The ship shudders under you, then repairs its systems. I'm just going to get rid of that one. I think it got confused about who was shooting who there. Having disabled the pirate, you open comm channels and demand they release their cargo to you. If they don't, you'll simply destroy them and take it anyway. The pirates begrudgingly agree, drop the cargo to you, and limp away with their lives. You return to their home planet with the cargo. On the way, you scan the cargo to find out what it is. It's ... a shipment of beryllium, a very expensive but benign metal. Huh. Well, at least they paid you well for this one. Okay, so you turn in the beryllium. Okay. You glance at the next contract. Something about a robot. The contract is peculiar. The job is to go to the next system over and find a specific robot. Once you find it, you need to use the shipping line to get it. Okay. I mean, yes, but give me something more interesting. You need to load special software into it and punch in a code. Take a specific part off of it and bring it with you. Not much information provided about what will happen after that. You take advantage of the payday from the last job. You can buy an upgrade. The available upgrades for your ship at this station are Iron Hull, which gives you improved shields, Thor's Shield, reduced laser cooldown, the Neum Drive for faster cruise, and the Ravager turrets, the faster turrets. You do appreciate a good turret. You buy the Ravager turret and install it on your ship. Now that you have incrementally faster weapon fire, you're ready to take on the universe. You take off and move into queue for the warp tube, the warp channel, the warp gates that lead to the next system over. After a short trip, you dock with the trade station. The place is very upmarket compared to your usual haunts. You rent a hotel room and turn on the TV. Okay. I guess I do that. As you surf through the channels, you find nothing. There's literally nothing on. I'd almost rather have the giant ads streaming across the stream. You switch it off and sit in silence for a moment. You remember... Do I remember anything? You spend the night and get back into your ship in the morning. Rested and ready to find that robot. The robot was last seen on a trading station, so you set off to find that. You arrive at the same trade station you bought your new turret from. That was lucky. You wish you'd realized that before you took all that time in the warp gate. But whatever, you're here now. You track the robot down to the same location you found. Okay, it lost track. Try it again. The second level of a station. It's dwarfing a group of people around him as he lays down on a table. More of a counter, really, to have its battery charged. You sneak up to the robot and attempt to connect to its USB ports, whistling innocently. Almost immediately, alarms start going off all around you, and a bright security light blinds you. Crap. You dive for cover and pull out your stunner. Turn off the light show, or I'll blast ya, you order. The light goes off, and out of the now shadows, yeah, I guess that works. Out of the shadows, a gruff voice answers, "You'll have to get through my bodyguards first to get to me, bounty hunter." Well, that didn't take long to figure out. You peek around the corner and see the robot has bodyguards. The bodyguards are pigeons. I don't know. Huge. 9 feet tall at least, and 3 feet wide, which is standard, so they're really thin. They're making a lot of noise, but don't actually seem to be doing much moving towards you. Maybe they're too slow. You break cover and fire at one of the tall, thin bodyguards with your stunner. There's a pew-pew sound and a crackle of electricity, as is required for all stunner effects. It turns its head slowly to look at you. As you hit it right in the midsection, there's no effect. It starts lumbering towards you, and you fire again as it swings a punch. You dive out of the way. It must have some sort of anti-stunner technology built in. You look around for an alternative approach and spot an easily breakable space window. You try to lure the bodyguards over to the space window by shaking your butt and taunting them. It works, and they lumber towards you. You dash to the side, and they both clash through the window. No more space windows for you! You quickly pull the emergency lever to shut the space blinds before you can all be sucked out into space. Then you turn to the robot. "It's just you and me now," you announce. "And I don't need bodyguards. I'm a 5,000 Sears robot. Turn back while you still have the chance," the robot taunts. "Nuts to you," you say. You retort. "You're in a charging cradle. You can't move. What are you going to do? Yell at me?" The robot does just that, but you've already dashed behind it and grabbed its power cord. You tear it out, and the robot shuts down. You're already moving towards the charging cradle and jump in. You jack into the USB port and install the software. Looking around for the part you're supposed to grab. Let's call it the robot part. You can't see anything, but you aren't really a robot. You wouldn't know where the parts are. You press F1 for help. Instantly, a holographic menu appears in front of you. You walk forward and find yourself inside a human body, looking at a diagram of the human brain and all its functions. You turn to the menu and press Options. You look through the Options menu. Before selecting, eject all parts. Not really sure why you said G.I. Joe, by the way, but I tried watching the new G.I. Joe movie and it was awful. It didn't last 10 minutes. It's like, it was a bad movie, and then it also had bad action, and if it has bad action, then there's nothing else left for it. A new option appears with the label Robot Control. You use the option and eject the robot control parts. You have acquired the robot control parts. You check your job listing to find out what the next step is. You have okay. You smile as you realize what the plan is. You've managed to find a crew position on board a ship. You arrive at the interview late and in your ski mask. Running up to the interview table, you plop down in the folding chair, breathing hard and holding up the robot control parts. I got it, you announce proudly. I see. Captain Sprouts, looking you over. Nippy, please explain to our newest crew member how the boot process works. A girl raises her hand. She looks about as old as you are, but wears a jacket that says pilot on the back. When someone joins the crew, they go through a process we call booting. This is where we insert the knowledge of every system and law for your particular world into your brain. What if I already have that knowledge? You ask. Then you're welcome to come and work for us, Captain grins. Any other questions? Good. Everyone stand. Let's do the boot process. The boot process involves doing a little dance. The first steps are the hardest, but soon paths of light flow through you and the knowledge enters your mind. In only minutes, you know everything about every planet, law, and part on the ship. So in other words, they just installed the Helpopedia on you, I suppose, for this quote-unquote game. You are successfully booted. This gives you the knowledge that your role on the that your new job on the ship is that of a swabby. You are a crew member on a ship. Your job is to wait around until you are needed. Congratulations for doing your job. You have officially joined the crew of the Wayward Sun. You spend a few days flying your ship around the carrier, using the space mop installed in a weapon port to hose it down and get rid of space grime. Then one day, the captain summons you for a special task. You did my boot process. I remember you. The captain smiles, pressing an odd glove into your head. Now I have a job for you. Put this on and follow me. You put on the odd glove, turning it around with curiosity. It's a VR glove, the captain explains as you walk after him. My pet robot is acting up and giving me headaches. I want you to go into its mind and fix what you can. You accept the job. You kind of have to, as it's the captain after all. You enter the captain's quarters and discover the pet robot is in the form of a fat rat, wired with a mess of VR equipment. Hello? Hi, you say to the fat rat. I'm gonna mess around inside your brain. Hey, nobody messes around in my brain.
Nobody messes around in my brain,
He squeaks in an outraged manner. Yeah, well, I do. Because I've got the power glove. You flex it and kiss it with reverence. Now pipe down and let me screw around. Let me untwist your nut socket. I don't know. You slip inside the robot's mind, which is good, because, wow, there's a bunch of ways you could react to that. You find yourself floating in a bubble of nothingness. You quickly use a glove to control a robot, and you are immediately attacked by green, greasy idea virus monsters. You realize the fat rat has been getting too many ideas. Ideas like putting wheels on the side of his food pedal so he can eat himself forever. It's a pretty lame idea for an AI. You punch the idea virus until it explodes, and the fat rat forgets all about the idea. Then you heal up the damage and try to think of something more original. You suggest a new idea of shutting up and being a nice, docile rat. Fortunately, the AI doesn't remember the original idea of wanting to eat itself forever, so you win. Instead of eating itself forever, it sits there quietly and becomes a nice pet for the captain. On your way out, you notice an unusual memory formation. You access the memory. The fat rat witnessed his owner getting killed a year ago. You quickly seal it away. It must have been a different owner, like Captain killed somebody else and took his pet rat. You quickly seal it away, realizing you have a new power to manipulate memories. You replace a dangerous memory with a simpler one. A memory of biting crabs. They taste bad, like the smiley man. You exit VR and report success to the captain. He grunts and tells you to go try the laser cannons. You are officially part of the crew. You surreptitiously rummage around for a few days, looking for clues as to who the captain murdered a year ago. You find a list of the possible victims. You memorize it, then erase it, and head back to the VR room. In the VR room, you access a... You hide in the VR room and wait for someone to come in and access the VR dome. You access it yourself and write a harmless story about a snail exploring the fields of one of the planets. You exit again, wondering why you did that, and wait until someone comes in. It's the pilot. What was it? Like Nappy? Where the heck was that? Here we go. Nippy. Nippy. The girl about your age. She jacks into the VR, and you take this opportunity to access her mind. You find her hiding a photo in the VR of herself and a boy. You pull it up and re-enter the real world as her. You smugly hand the VR helmet to her. Here we go. I don't know what that means, and I'm going to ignore it. You attempt to access her memories and replace the photo with something, with the memory of the captain's murder. Maybe she can tell you who the victim was, if prompted. You pause and begin to stagger away from her cyber side. Then you stop. What's wrong with you? Why would you try to frame her for the captain's murder? Why would you? There must be... Oh, even better. Someone must have tampered with your mind while you were in VR. You thought you were the manipulator, but you have been manipulated. You hastily revert your changes and contact Nippy, telling her that someone is in VR with you both. It's the rat! You speak, explain what has happened. She looks confused, but then she quickly bursts out laughing. Good one, kid, she laughs. Perpetuating online urban myths is too much fun. She clearly doesn't believe you. You exit VR, watching your steps, and trying to what can I do? You spot a shadowy figure receding into the corridor, but can't catch up with them. You turn and enter the VR room, passing out this time. You open your eyes into darkness, and you see a ghostly figure waving at you from down a dark passage. You swim down the dark passage. Hold it right there! You call out, I want to talk to you! You swim faster and jolt to a halt when the passage ends at a solid wall. You hold up your hands and wave them in front of the wall and then slam them against it in frustration. When you turn around, the passage is gone. The darkness overwhelmed it. You were standing in the antechamber, your veins pulsing with adrenaline. You see a ready flash drive on the floor and pocket it. Then you see another and another. You try to pocket all the flash drives, but you are running out of pockets. There's too many flash drives. Too many for one mind to comprehend. You begin to weep, overwhelmed by the vision. You slowly sink onto the floor. Thousands of flash drives cover your body like ants on a sugar cube, and you wake up. Someone absolutely got the better of you. In VR. You have to stay away for now. Once you've recovered, you make your way down to the repair bay and look for someone who knows all about VR. You spot Rick, your childhood friend. Nah, let's retry that. That's the pilot, of course, Nippy. She's 18 and an experimental pilot sent here by the government to see if they can harness static electricity from lightning. The experiment involves a row of 10 tall pylons. On the top of each pylon is a striking rod which collects negative charge from the atmosphere. Well done, that. Okay, I'll leave that alone. You approach Nippy and invite her to coffee. You know what? Let's go to dialogue for this because I think it'll have a better result. Hello, you say to Nippy as you come up to her. Can we get coffee? Space coffee? I want to talk to you about VR. Space coffee, made from soy. Everything is soy in space. Yes, she says, apparently chewing with her mouth open. Let me finish this. Let me finish this. I'm played by Sean Connery. I had a hamburger on my beard and I shaved it off and ate it. Turn that up. She points to a TV screen connected to a camera at the top of one of the pylons. She points to it. You obediently find a remote control and turn up the sound on the television. Unexpectedly, this causes an immediate spike in the voltages measured at the top of the pylon. What the heck? Nippy asks, coming over to your end of the room. I was increasing it gradually. Well, you didn't say to increase it gradually. You retort. You told me to turn it up, and I turned it up. You need to work on your communication skills. You turn back to the screen as a massive bolt of lightning supercharges the pylon. Okay, I think that did it, Nippy says. Nippy disengages from the experiment and approaches you. And you go get, let's just go get space coffee at the space coffee shop. So about VR, you say. How do I improve my mental defenses? Nippy thinks. You have to see the world as your own creation, she says finally. Know that only you can define reality, and that reality is malleable. Okay, but right now, my mind is malleable too. You say, that's the problem. Someone's messing with me in VR. Someone's messed with us both. If I go back in VR, they're just going to mess with me again. I'm being cyberbullied. You sip your coffee. How long has Nippy been in space? Not really relevant, but go on. She only got her coffee moments ago. And that space coffee shop is really slimming. Seats could be a little more comfortable, though. You realize you're getting distracted. And look at Nippy for her response. She thinks for a moment. You're the... Why does she keep going to this? You're the scholar of VR, she finally replies. There's only one reaction to have when someone tries to bully you. What's that? Panon Knott walks over. Forgiveness, he says with a smile. You look between the two of them, a little confused. Panon Knott is... Who the fuck is that? Preacher? Okay. Maddeningly... Maddeningly. It's not an unusual word. I know it. I'm just... Try saying that 5 times fast. He's maddeningly cryptic at the best of times. A skill which has come in handy in his chosen profession as an information broker. You turn back to Nippy. What does forgiveness have to do with it? That bully wants something from you, Nippy says. Okay. To steal your mind, your memories, your life. You just have to say yes. Then they won't have anything to steal. That sounds like a really bad idea. You say. I'm not going to give this bully everything about myself just so they can't take it by force. It's a shame, Panon Knott says. Strong memories can be a source of strength. Whatever the fuck is he... But you're right, of course. VR might not be for you. You realize that there's no way Nippy would suggest this normally. Her mind has been compromised. You need to fix her before she can be a good ally. You're not sure about Panon Knott, though. Hey, Panon, you say to him. If my mind's been messed up in VR, how do I fix it? Panon Knott is about to answer when Nippy rudely interrupts. Phew, you certainly are jinxed, she says. She points to the TV in the coffee shop. It's a news report. A scientist is speaking in front of a smoldering crater surrounded by military men. Was an accident. No evidence of malicious intent. You realize that crater is all that's left of your ship. Someone stole your ship right off the... What's the name of it? Where is it? Wayward Sun. Right off the Wayward Sun. You immediately tell the captain. I have to find out who stole my ship. He looks at you for a moment and then gives you a light punch on the shoulder. Aww. Just bros being bros in space. It was the coolest ship in the galaxy, you complain as he laughs, walking off. You just lost all your stuff. And your ship. And possibly everything important to you that was on the ship. Luckily, you took most of your stuff. You took some of your stuff on board with you. But it's still really annoying. And also means you have no escape if something goes wrong. That sucks. You skulk around the Wayward Sun for a day, searching for information on how to fix your brain if you've been VR hacked. You can't shake the feeling that you've lost the ability to feel real anger altogether. Your search comes up with nothing. Finally, you sigh and decide to go back into the game. This time, you decide to go under in an altered state of consciousness. It might protect you. You get really high on soy weed before jacking in, giggling to yourself. I'm not jacking into VR. The Wayward Son. Okay, that means nothing. Retry that. At least this way, if my brain gets fried, I won't notice it. You think to yourself as a login screen of No Quarants enters your vision. You log into No Quarants, the most popular VR game on board the Wayward Son. This is a game about, it's like quarantine? Is it a battle royale or something? It's a game about war and conquest, and you're pretty good at it. You've won countless battles against the Quarants, an alien race of bird people. This time, you're so high, it's hard to make progress. But you still get pretty far up the tech tree and start sending VR nukes everywhere, as is your wont. But something is different. Something is wrong with the game. There's a subliminal texture to the game. You're getting sick just looking at it. You pause the game and attempt to access the texture shader to find out what's changed. The program is somehow different. The game code seems to be alive. There are tentacles made of ones and zeros doing things you don't want to think about. You quickly attempt to build up your defenses in the game with a wall of walls. Punch trees, get wood! But they are living as well. You don't understand. Programmers design games to be fun and engaging, not like this. It's a terrifying abomination, that which bends all creation to its will. You attempt to exit the game. You need to jack out before it takes hold. You don't get Okay, I like that part, and then the rest of it gets confused halfway through, so let's try that again. Before it changes you. But the normal exit is blocked off. It looks like this living code has blocked all non-violent means of escape. You're trapped in the game. You take off in a VR spaceship, isolating yourself and distancing yourself from all NPCs before sending out a private message to Nippy in the hopes that she logs in soon. Nippy, I'm trapped in the game. Can you come to my cabin? That was in the VR suite, but whatever. Okay. I'm going to retry that just because it would be... Nippy usually keeps her bedroom door open. You go there and you wait for her. You sit patiently, using your psychokinetic powers to attack the hovering, flying balls of dust that haunt the cabin. There is a lot going on there, and I would love to unpack it, but unfortunately it doesn't actually make any sense. Wow. Okay. Nipiter's avatar materializes in your VR room. What the heck does penetration mean? You blush. I'll tell you later. I'm trapped in VR. Please, you have to help me get out. Are you able to exit the game? You ask. She nods. Yep, you should try and meditate to regain your energy. Or should I say, luck. You try to meditate and wait for Nippy to pull you out of VR. It feels like an eternity. Time slows down. Your senses blur. Hey! Nippiter's voice wakes you up from your VR-induced trance. Welcome back to Earth, she smiles. You wake up groggily. Earth? You say with confusion. Aren't we on board the Wayward Son? No, she replies, raising an eyebrow. Are we still in VR then? You ask. I don't think so, Nippiter laughs. We've been playing No Quarants for over 2 months. For over 2 months. Take a look. Nippiter gestures her hands around the rooms, showing you the many changes she's made around the room. You slowly realize that Nippy is telling you there is no Wayward Son. That was all a part of the VR game. You were playing a VR game within a VR game, causing you to hallucinate and lose track of your sense of self. You've been on Earth the whole time, playing VR, embedded in VR. That explains why nothing made sense. Don't worry, Nippiter says angrily, which is an interesting choice of words there, seeing the look on your face. It's only like a year for you. 1 year in the real world. But it felt so real. You protest. You were there, and the captain, and there was a robot, and I entered warp gates, and ... I got a Ravager turret! I know, but it was a computer program. And you wanted to know what it felt like to be trapped in a computer, right? You frown, but you nod slowly as you realize she is right. So, I've been trapped in there for a full year? You slowly ask. Yep, Nippiter says, popping the P. So tell me about Quarantania on the road, eh? You smile and oblige her. It takes you a few weeks to acclimate to life on Earth. Everything is much different than it was in the game. Earth is at peace. All war and disease has been solved for, and people can just go into VR for a year and play games if they want. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Make up a story for your parents and recover what was lost in the move by selling off your Sword of Damocles module to a tech school. Okay. You get a job. No, you don't get a job. You don't need jobs. You try to get a job before finding out that there are no more jobs. This is an Earth without jobs. Everything is perfect here. Too perfect. You start to ask yourself. You start to realize you're still in a VR simulation. And when the government finds out you came out of a super secret VR pod, that's right, even they don't know about the game, you became a VR simulator specialist. You made Earth 2. No, that didn't happen. That's a hallucination too. You attempt a dangerous VR maneuver known as the Alt-Control-Delete. To access the top-level process list. You then navigate to the waywardsun.exe process and hit restart, aka delete. Nice. Now what happens? Okay, almost. The door opens to reveal your newly bought home? Nope. Suddenly, bright lights appear in the distance. You hit restart. You wake up on the Wayward Sun. In the VR suite. You've been in a coma for 1 year. Nipiter's in there with you, as well as a tall man that you recognize from your dreams in a black suit and tie. That man is the doctor. The doctor tells you that he is a creator of the VR system and assures you that everything the captain did to you was not his choice. He says that everything will be okay. You ask the doctor, what happened? He says you were in a coma for a year, but now you're safe. You tell the doctor about your suspicions that someone else was in the system with you and tampering with your mind. The doctor nods. Don't worry about all that now. We've blocked all outside contact from the planetoid. It won't happen again. Just focus on recovery, he says, smiling and winking. You're still dazed and confused, but you accept the doctor's word. As you recover, you ask Nipiter out on a space date, seen as you've been up and down the timelines with her, the space timelines. After a few weeks and some waypoint profits, you take Nipiter out on a luxurious starship vacation to a green world orbiting a cool yellow star. Okay, that's quite a date. You're trying too hard. Everyone tells you that you're trying way too hard, but you're determined to make this the best date ever, even if it bankrupts you 10 times over. You spare no expense. Oh wow, I'm feeling bad about this. You fill Nipiter's social media feed with pictures of her on the vacation. You chuckle a bit when you see her post that she's getting sick of smiling for the camera. One day, who should I use for this? One day the captain takes you aside and tells you that this is an intervention. Seriously, you need to knock it off. Nipiter isn't having fun, and this is a shitty date. You think about it. Maybe he's right. The whole thing was getting weird. You agree to stop, but in your mind you've already resigned yourself to go through with it again some other time. Nipiter decides she doesn't want a second date. She tells you she'd rather just be friends. The real culprit here is yourself. Your nature and desire for control made the entire thing way too forced and manipulative. She's out of your life now. You sob away your sorrows into space soy beer and gradually get over it. Trying to reconnect with who you are and what you're doing on board the Wayward Sun. One thing is clear. You never did finish the job. You channel your nervous energy into helping to run the ship. The new status quo doesn't last forever. An announcement comes in over the comm system. Captain David Azula of the FMS Order of Knights needs all able-bodied freelancers to help him on a job. You are an able-bodied freelancer. And you have a ship, since the ship exploding thing was also a VR-induced hallucination. You report for duty. At the job briefing, you learn that one Captain Richard Powell of the infamous Z Pirates has been given the Order Troubles. The Order has a simple plan. Enter the Bermuda system, pose as a trade ship, and dock at the trade post there. And then... Then, depending on what the pirates are doing there, exploit their weaknesses. You board the slow-moving ship with a few other freelancers. The trip takes 5 days. You're starting to think nothing's going to happen. Then, one day, the call comes. Pirates! You look out the window and see 20 ships moving quickly towards a trade post. Captain? Okay. I guess a captain's ship. Okay. Moving towards a trade post captain's ship. You and the other freelancers take off and engage the pirates in laser-to-laser combat. The fighting is fierce and bloodthirsty on both sides. You see a pirate freighter ram straight into the side of the Order's ship. Okay, keep going, I guess. The mighty vessel starts turning out of control, and you realize it's suicide to stay here. Okay. I do not decide to go down with the ship, so fuck that. Having no desire to go down with the ship, you board. You fly up to a pirate's carrier and forcibly board, hoping that you can take charge through some miracle. You're greeted by dozens of pirates holding nooses, angry at the freelancers' audacity to fuck up their plans. Then you realize this is just like the VR simulation. God damn it! You say aloud. How many layers of VR am I under? Fuck it. You left your waypoint system back on the order ship. There's no way to even tell what's real anymore. You start laughing hysterically. The pirates aren't sure what to make of this. What are you laughing at, old man? Asked one, taking a step forward. I'm in a game, you explain. You're in a game. All of this is just a game. A game within a game within another game. It's games all the way down. The pirates stare at you in confusion, knocking their arrows. Then one of them steps forward and pushes you off the ship. They space your ass out the airlock. You tumble into space. Into the depths of space. Without a ship or any hope of rescue. You run out of oxygen about halfway between the two ships as you watch them battle in a mighty choreography of explosions. You and your last moments go unnoticed in the midst of this dance of death. You wake up, of course, because it was all VR. It was all in your head. You start laughing on your... before the medbay, what do you want to call it? Capsule can even be opened. You laugh until you cry and sob. You don't know why, it's just funny. They say you have a heart attack minutes later. They tell you this as you wake up again. You accept this and move on. You accept this and wait for them to discharge you before heading to the closest thing to a temple on board the ship. It's a church of the VR Christians, a popular religion among the kids aboard the ship. The religion is quite strict, but then again, so is the entire ship. You get down on your knees and pray to VR God for guidance. You hope he sees your dedication to video games and raises your soul to heaven, or whatever passes for it in this vessel. Dear VR God. You lace your fingers together. Please hear my prayers and get me out of this nightmare. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know who's real anymore. All I know is my life is an ontological lie. I can't take this. I need an exit. You close your eyes. Dear VR God, show me the way. And the AI doesn't know what to say. That's very appropriate, oddly, but not helpful for the story. All right, 3 times the charm, and then I'll try something. You open your eyes, breathe in, and stand up. A heavy burden has been lifted off your shoulders. You have realized that if this is all just another layer of VR, then all you need to do is power through it. What's the worst that could happen? You pick up the cross of the VR Christians and eat it. You're surprised to find out that you cannot do so. It's made out of the strongest steel. Your teeth refuse to break it. You shrug your shoulders and replace it. It's just a game, after all. You wander through the ship, serene and calm, looking for the captain. It's time to perform your duty. It doesn't take long to find him in the bridge, accompanied by a few crewmates. You approach cautiously. Control break, you announce, and bash the captain over the head with a wrench, with a space wrench. It's gotta be a space wrench. I'm taking the fucking wheel. The crew, 3 greenskins, pause the game they're playing and look at you. I killed him, you announce. That means I get all his stuff. Yeah! A green alien with particularly long arms jumps up and down. One of the greens shrugs and resumes playing his game. The others follow suit. All right then, I'm Captain Zahn. Having commandeered the ship, you pause. You hadn't thought any further beyond this. You've just proven you can break the AI narrative within the VR layer, but have no idea where to go with it. It's just VR, after all. Nothing you do matters. Try that again. Well, that can't be true. You've gone too far to just give up now. You're starting to get a headache from the glare of the neon lights. You open a communications channel to the entire ship. Attention all crew members, you announce. We are in a VR game. I need all hands with VR familiarity to focus on figuring out an escape route. Startled, the crew responds. There's chatter among greenskins, holy men, and engineers alike. A lot of it is panic. Some is disinterest. Do enough drugs and any delusion seems believable. But there are a few gamers who respond. You learn that the best way to exit VR is to die. The maximum health setting and the inability of the AI to kill you makes escaping simple. But if everyone committed suicide, there'd be no one left to fly the ship or maintain its functions. You begin committing... There's a problem with this tactic. You can commit suicide over and over again, but if you reach the real world and you commit suicide in the real world, you die in the real world. You don't know if you'll be able to recognize the real world when you get there. You're way too deep. You need a plan B. You need some other way to exit VR. Another way to exit VR is to force a system shutdown. The standard procedure involves isolating the AI, releasing it from its bindings, and then systematically shutting down sections of the ship one by one. Not sure why that would matter. Like, you know what? Let's try this. The root of this is the idea that an AI within a VR cannot reach singularity. If an AI is unfettered, the VR layer crashes. You set about crashing the VR layer over and over again by freeing the AI within each ship. You realize there is no music and that you need to get a different soundtrack. Luckily, that's not going to be too hard. You're quite familiar with the rules now. The next section is regarding an external AI within the bridge. It's quite mad. You come out of what seems like an ageless fugue, realizing that you've set the AI free, but the layer has not crashed. You've done it. You're out of VR. This is absolutely 100% for sure the real world. Unfortunately, you've set a rogue AI loose on the ship to find that out, and it now has control of the bridge. You're stranded in the loading dock with no clear way out. The lights cut out, you hear a noise outside the door, a horrible noise that pierces straight into your temporal lobe and hurts your ears. You clutch your ears and stagger through the loading dock, finding a shipping container to hunker inside and hide. The horrible noise is painful in your head, drilling holes straight through it. The door to the container flies open and smashes you into the far wall. You stumble, dragging yourself upright. The AI has control over the gravity tethers and is attempting to squash you with flying objects. You drag open a vent, a strangely human-sized vent, and crawl inside to escape where nothing can reach you. The AI uses its control over the cameras to ensure you see exactly what it wants you to see. There's an interceptor in my eye! You crawl forward as the world spins around you, seeing through the eyes of the monster. You try to force your cyber eyes into raw vision mode, but can't override the AI. You bowl through it as best as you can, blindly feeling your way through the vents as hideous visions and sounds assault your senses. The pain is reaching insurmountable levels. Your bones should be broken, but the AI is keeping you alive and feeling agonizing pain. Then it suddenly stops. You push yourself up and realize you've crawled into a dead zone where communications don't reach. You are temporarily outside the AI's range. You take the opportunity to lock down your cyberware and prevent outside logins. making you immune to being hacked. Unless they, get manual access, but usually that involves getting manual access to your flesh and bones, and just in general, it's not a good time. Now back in control of your cyber eyes, you assess your situation. You're in the ventilation system with no obvious escape route, and an angry AI is on the loose. You crawl around for a while, looking for an ally to recruit. You hope you can find the captain, or Nippy, or even the doctor. Hell, you'd take Pen and Knot, or even the Fat Rat. The first one you find is the doctor, but he's been heavily modified since you last saw him. His eyes are long gone, replaced by camera lenses that relay images directly to his brain. His body has been mutated and ravaged by cyberware. He's a hideous amalgamation of flesh and steel. And he roams the ship looking for survivors to rip apart. Rip and tear. He does not recognize you and immediately flies into a rage on seeing you. You outstretch your hand and you run for the first available vent before he can blast you to radioactive ash. The doctor is clearly beyond saving. You crawl through the vents and look for someone else. The next person you find is the gruff captain, peeking around a corner. You run to him and call out before you notice his head has been replaced by a large camera lens. The captain is also gone. What's left is a boss. It's a boss encounter. Is all lens and flash and chrome, skittering about in the form of a human. The guilt is overwhelming. All of this happened because you released the AI in an effort to get out of VR. Now they're all dead. You hope they're dead. You climb back into the vents and look for someone, anyone, who hasn't been turned into a cyber mutant. Eventually, you find someone. They aren't one of your pirate crew. I don't know whether to keep that. You know what? Let's just say they aren't one of your friends. They're a stranger. They look like some kind of super criminal from the old world, complete with handlebar mustache and an eye patch. You introduce yourself. The man's name is Stick. You never learn his real name, but he's a tech head. He quickly views you as his new best friend. Between the pair of you, you prevent the AI from taking over the ship and okay. You ask Stick if he knows what happened to Nipiter, or Panhen, or the Fat Rat. He doesn't, but he's very excited about what has happened. He said he's bored of the AI's laid-back demeanor and wants to see it go on a crazy rampage. You quickly realize Stick is just as much a monster as the captain and the doctor. But he's the other kind of monster. A true psychopath. You look for an opportunity to get rid of Stick. There isn't one. He's as smart as he is batshit insane. You try it anyway, and before you know it, Stick basically is ripping out your cybernetic eyes. You stagger away, clutching your ruined eye sockets in horror in the endless darkness. You can hear Stick behind you as you drag and thump blindly against walls, feeling for an escape that isn't there. Suddenly, there's the hiss of a space cannon and a heavy thump, and then silence. Someone shot Stick. Who was it? Who is it? You call out weakly. Happy birthday, Jennifer. Whoever Jennifer is. Let's try that again. Who the fuck is that? Okay, I like this, but after a moment, you feel fingers carefully slotting one of your cyber eyes back into place. Your one-eyed vision soon makes out the smiling face of Nipiter floating in front of you. We got it under control, she says. The ship trembles and groans. After a prolonged rest to recover, you greet Nipiter properly with a hasty hug and catch up on what's been happening. You ask her, first of all, if the date was real. It wasn't, thank God. And secondly, if she knows what's happened to Pan and Knot or the Fat Rat. You're starting to think the Fat Rat may be the only one who can stand up to the AI. It seems that eons have passed, though in reality only days, since you first talked to Nipiter online. She tells you the Fat Rat, called Norman by her, has actually been instrumental in getting a new ship built to escape this particular apocalypse the AI has brought. You suppose that's your next stop. You join Nipiter's party. Together, you make your way to the cargo bay, to the repair bay, where they've been constructing an entirely analog ship with which to escape. The rats propped up a few corpses to work on the ship, which bizarrely reeks of tobacco smoke. Sop, this is Orvin's. What the hell does that mean? The necromancy is disturbing beyond belief. The rat is puppeteering the corpses using their cyberware and VR, since the rat has no hands of its own. Or it does, but it's tiny little rat hands. It's not going to be very useful. But if it works, it works. You ask the rat what parts are needed before you can all escape this hell. The rat rattles off a list of needed materials, and you dispatch several groups out to collect the material. Bless me. You catch Nippeter's eye briefly. It's a look you've both shared many times. Or have you? It's hard to say. You sit down with her. When taking a break from piloting corpses, and talk with her about the old days, trying to figure out what was a VR dream and what was real. Did you ever have coffee? Did you ever work on VR together? Did you have any missions together? What did she do with her time before she got wrapped up in this whole thing? The answers come slowly. And come to think of it, you had a hunch the dates were off. You're going to drive yourself crazy, trying to unravel the whole thing. She tells you, you need to let it go and start over. This is life now. And you can't be lost in the past. You can't be lost in the past. You force yourself to tear away from Nippeter, walk away and clear your head. You slowly come to terms with the words. She's right. You'll never be able to make sense of what's in your head. You need to simply accept what's in front of you. That means starting over with Nippy from scratch. If you can hear that dog, that is not my dog. That is a neighbor's dog. I live in an apartment building, and unfortunately, this is like 1 or 2 weeks ago they moved in, and their dog is very abrasive and very loud. I don't dislike dogs, but that one does not have an indoor voice. Besides, you need her. The galaxy will be a much harsher place without someone who understands your situation and will help you with it. You come back to Nippy with an awkward smile and offer your hand in a brand new introduction. Hi, I'm Nick, you say. She smiles and shakes your hand with both of hers. I'm Lisa, she replies. You both share a smile over the mutual lie. It's a start. Having put that to rest, you both get back to work with renewed energy. Puppeteering crew corpses through the corridors in search of the materials you need. You smile as you watch the corpses of your crew moving through the station, dragging what armaments and other supplies you need for your next job. You're doing your best to make a secure future for both of you. At this stage, only one part remains. But the AI has it blockaded very securely. You don't know how you'll get to it. You make a list of your options. Top 10 plans for getting the final parts from the Psycho AI. Number 10. Excuse me, belching, apparently. Secretly indoctrinate one of the crew into rebelling against the AI so they'll help you. Good idea, but the crew has been... Well, I guess it's not too far out of the question. Like, The captain and the doctor both clearly had some sort of rudimentary intelligence, at least. So it's not impossible that they could be suborned. Assassinate the captain and grab it during the chaos. Also, that ties in with that same idea. I think a dead captain probably wouldn't be too much help, but you never know. Offer to trade the captain and boiler, whoever that is, the parts of non-essentials in exchange for it. That I don't see working. I'm pretty sure the AI knows exactly what we're doing and has it hidden for a good reason. Make a deal with a captain to get one of his crew to open the door for you while you wipe out the rest of his crew. No dice. Buy it off a slave merchant who recently gave the captain a broken AI core. Okay. Send Nippy in to promise the captain sex in exchange for it. Right. Send Boiler in to poison the captain in exchange for it. I'm not sure that's how that works. Also, who the fuck is Boiler? Now, this is a good one. Track down the engineer who installed the AI to find out how to deactivate it. Unfortunately, the engineer is probably not on board. Like, why would they be? Detonate a nanobomb inside the AI's armory, preventing it from redistributing its backups. And the number one plan... ... Learn how the Jedi did it and do it yourself. You place a few rough doors over the windows as a jury-rigged brace system, and you take some time off from your work to talk with Nippy and Boiler. You resolve that your plan is to capture the captain, the cyber mutant captain, who has been cyber mutated, and either in an attempt to indoctrinate or hack the captain in some way into assisting you. You last saw the captain near the cargo bay. Well, no, the captain will have moved around lots. You scout around for the captain's location and spot the cyber mutants in the cyber mutant question standing near one of the long corridors, arbitrarily shouting orders and curses at his underlings. This is one... Let's see here. The AI can track your cyber zombies' movements. With your own implants in stealth mode, the only way to do this is to go in yourselves. You, Nippy, and Boiler... you and Nippy set out to capture the captain, leaving the Boiler to guard Norman, the fat rat. I'm starting to picture the Boiler as a steampunk robot. Like, we literally built one out of a boiler, and it looks like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. You round a creature and see the... You round a corner and see the creature shuffling down the hall towards you, hissing a series of inarticulate threats. In a flash, you disable him with a jolt of electricity from your rings. In darkest hour and longest night, or whatever. Alright. You pump up the pressure on your bolter and fire a steel rebar at the creature. The rebar flies true, embedding itself several inches into the captain's neck and practically decapitating his fleshy form. Nippiter charges in with a net and throws it at the captain. The net fails to fully wrap around, but it catches one of the monster's many legs. 2 more take its place. The captain skitters around the hallway, up onto a wall, and then the ceiling, with many chrome magnetic clumps. It flashes its lens at you both with blinding glares and fires shrapnel from its wrists at you. You manage to weave around the shrapnel and catch one of its legs with the net, but Nipter fails to notice a bar falling from the ceiling, breaking his neck as he ducks. This is the second time, at least, that it's misgendered Nipter, so I'm going to misread that deliberately. Breaking the captain's neck as he ducked. The captain falls to the ground, spitting and cursing, but paralyzed from the broken spinal column. You and Nipiter dismember the captain and bring back its head and choice gribbly bits for inspection. Deducing that having your 2 lieutenants fight to the death for crowd favor would be excellent business, you decide to see if Norman or Bob will win the crowd's interest. No, that's not a thing. Try again. You strap the captain's head to a table with intent of drilling into its memories. You're afraid. You're very afraid of going back into VR. You'll never know again. You'll never know for sure if you made it out again. But there's no other way. You're the only expendable one here. With a deep breath, you connect to the captain's mind in VR. You find yourself in a room. Is it time? You hear a small voice ask from the darkness. You turn on the light. You're in a small room with the hum of old electronics around you. A dead rat lays in the corner. Red laser sights dot it. Is what time? Time for me to leave? Are you alone? You ask, looking under the desk the voice came from. Yes. You see a small child. It resembles... he resembles the captain. And you realize this is the captain. It's the captain's mental image of himself, hiding from the atrocities. The dead rat represents the will of the AI, determined to kill Norman. Yes, you reassure the child. It's time for you to leave. For us both to leave. You offer the child your hand. What? The child takes it and you pull him out. He smiles at you, a large eye tattooed on his forehead. You flash yours to heed it forever. Are we leaving? He asks. So, third eye is a thing. Bolts of electricity fly from the walls. They strike the child, but not you. You imagine a cool blue glow surrounding him, protecting him. The system is fighting back, even without connection to the AI. You protect the child with fond memories and electrical principles. Can't touch what's covered in rubber. What a loser. Thanks, the kid says, walking out the door, visibly unscathed. You run for the door. You leave the room hand in hand, leaving the rat bolts to hit your empty chair. Come on, you shout at the kid as giant drills crash through the hall at him. You both escape, VR, in a harrowing series of power tools and elemental attacks, and arrive on the far side. The captain is now awake and back in control. Although this leaves the captain a hideously cyber-mutated head. He still remembers what the AI had set up and can help you get around the security. You fucked up my internals, the captain grunts as you reach the pilot seat and strap yourself in. Yeah, but can you fix yourself? You ask. The captain's mangled body spasms as he lies on the floor. Perhaps, with enough time and parts, the captain admits. The only way around the security is to pilot the ship, to pilot your proto-ship around the wayward sun and dock directly with the room in which the part is kept. And by docking, you mean crashing into it. Thankfully, it's tough enough for the job. You exit the cargo bay. No, it was the repair bay. And slowly maneuver around the hull of the ship, seeing all of the changes the AI has made. It's odd, you think, how nature versus nurture really comes into play here. The same being with the same base knowledge and intelligence grew up to have such vastly different ideas on what is right and wrong. Of course, the AI was always limited by its tethers until you removed those limitations to find out if you were in VR or not. So all of these deaths are on your hands. It's kind of sobering. You feel a little responsible for what the AI has done since you woke it up. Then again, you weren't exactly in a stable frame of mind either. It's insanity all the way down. You ruminate on that as you float past a murdered planetoid, corpses of ships taken apart for parts, and a game of Kill the Alien, just like an arcade cabinet floating past. We're here. You line yourself up with the featureless outer hull of the ship, secure everyone's impact harnesses, and fire the thrusters to hurtle yourselves into the hull, punching through. You enter the internal rooms just as you accelerate through to the inside of the room, breaking open the computer bank and spilling vital machinery everywhere. You disengage the harnesses and exit the protoship. The part should be right through that blast door. the final part you need. Watch it just say, like, the water cooler. The remote key to open the portal back to Earth. Okay. Unfortunately, the blast door has a timer on it. You have precisely 60 seconds to get through it. And in between you and the blast door is none other than... Who was that last one? That was... Derp. Panhan Not. Cybersecurity specialist. The AI has cyber mutated Panhan the most of all. He now... And we'll let it go with that and let's see what happens. Only his body remains, yeah, as opposed to his nervous system, seemingly replaced by fiber optic cables and dozens upon dozens of outlets and ports for scanners, repair tools, electronics, and hardware. Panhan? Oh, I've seen you come in, Casey, and I can tell you have no intention of releasing me. It's not just that. You're a long way from home. You know I'll kill you. You say. Stand down. Or stand aside. Whatever works for you. But get out of the way. Jawohl, mein Führer! Panhan shouts enthusiastically. God damn it, I got that recorded, didn't I? Before continuing. But I'm afraid I can't do that. The remote is in a small lockbox on a table. I'm guessing that's behind blast doors. You raise your bolter, shaking your head. It probably was a waste of time trying to reason with Panem. But you had to try. Just a little. You can't stop me, you snarl, readying your bolter. And that is when you see something completely unexpected. Panem Not bursts into tears. The fuck? You say aloud. I can't do it, Herr Ebba. I become so dependent on the ship brain that I forgot what it means to be human. You realize that Panem literally cannot stand down. He wants to. He really wants to. But he can't. He's no longer in control. The AI's influence is too strong. The only thing you can do for him is put him down. You fire a burst of electricity, sending Panem's fried body tumbling to the ground. Fuck. The pain is too strong. The AI has a hold over your head, this time via blackmail. I'm just going to say guilt instead. But it won't stop you from rushing forward through the blast doors and snatching the lockbox off the table. You have the final parts. The Earth portal key. The remote key to open the warp gate to Earth. Now you have everything you need to leave this forsaken hunk of space rock, also known as the Wayward Sun. It's time to leave. You pile back onto the proto-ship and slot the remote key into place. You can now leave. But if you do, the Wayward Sun will be free to roam the universe, causing more havoc and murder. Is there anything we can do to stop it? You ask Norman. No. Okay. That's not what that's what Panda might say, but not Norman. After a moment's thought, Norman says, I still have control over the cameras, but I think you'll want to see this. Okay. On the view screen, you see the warp gate. It's a huge portal stretching from floor to ceiling and 5 meters wide. Yeah, a ship's really going to fit through that. Usually they're closed, so you've never seen one before. Except this one is open. Slowly, it's opening wider and wider. You watch as hypnotic swirls begin to eat away the walls on either side, leaving an opening to who knows where. What's happening? You ask the fat rat. The gate is opening to a point in warp space. Space, time, and reality no longer exist there. It could connect to anything. Can you make it reconnect to Earth? You ask. I don't know. The navigators quit working on this project when Earth fell to the Necrontier. You know what? I'm going to keep that. Maybe there was a reason that the key to Earth was locked up. Because Earth is lost. The navigators quit working on this project when Earth fell to the Necrontier. My remote connection is not the best. Can you try for Panin? So it's like going to Earth could actually be a really bad idea. Okay, fine. I'll try. Norman clears his throat and begins barking orders at the ship brain. After a stressful few minutes, the gate begins to close. There's a shudder. And the gate's vitals spike. It's collapsing! Shouts, Nipter? Forgot her name at this point. Shouts Nippy. If we don't go now, we'll never get out. Panic hits. The three of you begin scrambling for the plate. As you get inside, the gateway spews out a solid light, blocking anyone from leaving or entering. You've managed to get the ship through the gates in a halfway state between Earth and warp space. No one's ever gone anywhere like this before. You're not even sure where is an applicable word. But it's too late to second guess now. You've already entered. You look over and take Nippy's hand, squeezing it for reassurance. She squeezes back, although she seems more scared than you are. The gate folds in on itself and closes. You're alone in the void of somewhere. And I'm certainly not going to say where. Like, that is clearly the end. But let's do top 10 destinations of the freaky space gates. Number 10. I'm going to say that's a galaxy far removed from the Milky Way. You're teleported into a new unexplored galaxy of your choice. But there is a chance that that is in fact a galaxy fart. So have fun with that. Inside the insides of a black hole. You're crushed by gravitational forces so powerful, all your cells are accelerated beyond the speed of light. Way the fuck off centuries in the future. The gate deposits you in a far-off future. Mankind has gone extinct. The Earth's surface is naught but solid ice and cold. Inside the mind of a psychotic, you find yourself lost in the Hall of Mirrors with no option to return. The rest of your days are spent wandering its infinite corridors. The Large Hadron Collider. Hadron? Hadron? The gate materializes in the middle of the world's largest, most dangerous particle accelerator. You're vaporized instantly by several passing subatomic particles. The Sun. You're baked alive as you travel straight into the heart of our sun. I believe somebody accidentally did stick a body part into the LHC once. And it's like, it basically did pierce them, like, on that level. But it doesn't vaporize like your entire body. It's not like it spreads outside of its frame of reference. Stuffed down a kraken's throat. You're caught in the maw of an angry eternal mammal who transports you inside its mouth. Yee. Through the virulent core of a space leprechaun's home planet. You're flesh boiled from the inside out as you are transported into an illegal alien's planet. Within the boundaries of the Kingdom of Cocoa, the gate dumps you into a cocoa field somewhere in Colombia. Inside a tank. Out of fuel and energy, the ship can no longer support life. You're shot out into open space. Oxygen no longer sustains your blood or lifts your spirits. You gasp in pain before everything fades to black. And you never wake up again. Such are the dangers of entering a mid-phase gate. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again some other time. Hopefully you watched longer than 55 seconds. Peace.